Hey guys, I just got 12th place in the last Ultimate Cup, playing Blackwargreymon, combining it with Ragnalord, and I figured I'd post a deck profile for you. And yeah, well, let's get started. For the eggs, I'm running the Draw Koromon. I think when you're playing Ragnalord, the draw is definitely a lot more important than having the DP. Uh, your game plan is more so to get into Ragnalord for the most part, and just having the draw is always nice. It has come up once when I was playing Ultimate Cup where I wish this was the DP Koromon, but I'm pretty sure this being the draw Koromon has won me more games than if it was the DP Koromon instead. So I think you definitely go for the draw Koromon if you're going for the Ragna build. And I was playing with the Ragna build, so we run the Ragna pieces for the DNA. Ragnalordmon, two copies of Dorbickmon, 2 copies of Flamedramon, just so that when we have a Blackwargreymon out, we can play out a Dorbick for any amount. As long as you have Flamedramon, you should be able to DNA. Ideally, you get all 5 cards under here, but I've I've had games where I just played Dorbick, Flamedramon, and that was it. That's all I needed. I came up. I think I had one more card underneath to make it cost low enough for me to actually not pass the turn. I think I was at 0, so I needed like an extra card. And then DNA'd for game. Going into the megas, we run 2 copies of Blackwargreymon X, 2 copies of Gaiamon, 3 copies of Blackwargreymon. Blackwargreymon is, I think, the best card for it. I'm not running any of the Raid Wargreymon, which is really good here. I just opted to drop that to play out one more copy of Gaiamon because I felt like Gaiamon came up a lot more, especially since I'm running BT8 Metal Greymon in my deck as the choice of Metal Greymon instead of the piercing Metal Greymon. So Gaiamon, sometimes you really need that piece to just Digivolve and swing for 5 memory, killing your opponent's Digimon. And that came out way too much in testing, so I had to bump up Gaiamon, and I sacrificed the Raid Wargreymon for that. Blackwargreymon for obviously Tamer removal is such an efficient Tamer removal in the deck, where it just allows you to control a lot of the decks that are just dominating, killing off things like Mirage's Thomas Tamers, as well as Mirror Matches, Marcus Damon, Shine Greymon. Sometimes you just go into this and just kind of stop your opponents from being able to do much. Ulforce as well came up a lot. They have 2 arenas out. You go into this, you kill 2 arenas. That's detrimental to Ulforce players, which I think I played 3 Ulforce players in Ultimate Cup. I lost to one of them and then beat the other 2. So Blackwargreymon definitely was huge for that. Same thing here. Blackwargreymon X only running 2 because we don't have access to X antibody. I think I would have ran a 3rd one if we did. This is such a huge card for Ultimate Cup, since we have a hard time getting blocker where we can't run any black cards when we have to just focus on running red cards in the deck. You do need to be on Blackwargreymon if you want the unsuspend pop. But I think a lot of the times you really need to just go into this if you're against Blue Flare, which stops them from. It just allows you to stop their Blue Flare attacks, shenanigans, and if you got this under Blackwargreymon, you also you also kill things on their turn, which is pretty big. So you just definitely need this card just to give you some defensive options for the deck. Metal Greymons. I'll start with BT8 Metal Greymon. I'm not running any of the raid Metal Greymons. I just wanted to be consistent with finding these Metal Greymons that Digivolve for 4, but you do de-Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. That slows your opponents down enough usually that you could just do this at any point and just stick on Metal Greymon with protection on it. Your opponent usually can't really touch this card. Sometimes you de-Digivolve their Mega, and you leave them at a low memory where they can't go into a Mega and do anything. Or, even better yet, I've had games where this weekend my opponent would literally be stuck on their ultimates just because they didn't have another Mega in hand to go into. So you go into this, de-Digivolve their Mega, and then that's it. And then they just lose their boss card the next turn when I went to Blackwargreymon. So that's pretty huge. Metal Greymon Alterius mode. This is needed. I can't stress how good this card is. You go over Metal Greymon, and now the stack has protection, especially if you are using the limited Greymon X. Let's see it here. Limited Greymon X. To go into this for cheaper, you definitely want protection in the stack, and not having this and because you went to this it's gonna cost you the game sometimes. Definitely need that. And then the deletion is also really good. I think I had one matchup against Ulforce where the deletion is mandatory, and I killed a Leomon, and I almost passed turned, but I didn't. And that's the only time where it could have been bad, but it wasn't bad because it was still my turn anyways, so it wasn't too big of a deal. But generally, yeah, you get a free delete. If you have a tamer out, you can get a delete off Digivolving. And then the Metal Greymon X, I chose to run the BT9 Metal Greymon X, mostly for the DP. Don't get baited by the security attack. This is hugely for the fact that you gain a 3000 DP, and you can maybe Digivolve into a Blackwargreymon X, and now you have a 16k redirector that stops a lot of decks. 16k redirector, you can stop Mirage Gangamon for being able to swing. They can go into burst mode without any DP boosts. They would have to trade with this guy if they had like 1k boost, but no DP boost, then you win that. You win that matchup because they just can't. They're stuck at 15k, and that's why I'm running on this. Digivolve protection is also really good. If you're running the other Metal Greymon X, this is a really hard choice, and I just decided that I'm gonna be really sad if I need to go into Metal Greymon X, and I did not have enough memory. Digivolving for 1 into the other Metal Greymon X is gonna be pretty sad to have that go into. Another thing that came up is swinging with this for 2 checks. Let's say you're at 3 memory. If you go into Blackwargreymon X, sorry, Blackwargreymon or Blackwargreymon X, it doesn't matter, I guess. If you go into a Mega, you're gonna pass turn. So I'm on this at 3 memory. Or I guess I'm on a different Metal Greymon. I'll go into Metal Greymon X, swing into my opponents, check 2 security. Then I'd hard play the Dorbic for the 3 cost. So I have Dorbic out with full of stacks. Then I Digivolve my Metal Greymon into a Mega. End of turn DNA, Ragna swing for game. So this Metal Greymon X has I found just to be a bit more useful than the newer one we got in BT11. That being said, if you're planning on playing this deck, keep in mind what's in your locals, or I guess if you're planning on playing Ultimate Cup, since it'll be a little bit different for locals and we don't have the color restriction. If you know, the other Metal Greymon is better in certain matchups. This is literally just matchup dependent. I decided to go for this, and I think that this paid off more than the other one would have for me that day. But let's say if you had more of the mirror matches, I think the other Metal Greymon would have been a little bit better. Stops the Digivolve from causing issues. Same with Shine Greymon, I guess if DP minus would have been a problem, but the other one would have stopped that. And it allows you to chip more and be more control focused, which is really good. But generally, yeah, that's what I like about that. And moving on to our champions, I'm running 4 Greymon, the one where, you know, for the effectively 1 memory digivolve, 2000 DP inheritable. You definitely need this to swing into security. We don't have jamming. We need to swing over 15k somehow. When you go into this and Blackwargreymon X, you're only 15, which is why I really like the DP Koromon. This scares me when you're swinging and you hit like Mirage Galgamon, Burst Mode, Shine Greymon Burst Mode, these 15k boss cards that are the same DP. Luckily, we mainly Ragnalordmon, so we don't check much security. This is mainly used for swinging into other Digimon. 2000 is much. This is what all you need when you're swinging into other Digimon, especially since Gaiamon Digivolves drops them a stage, and you usually are able to swing over anything. I'm running a. I guess we'll do that last for the champions. With this, we're running the limited Greymon X. Self-explanatory. You're gonna Digivolve into your Metal Greymons for 2. Keep this in your hand for when you need a turbo quickly and surprise your opponents. Your opponents won't be. They always forget about this card, especially since it's restricted. They don't think about this card often, so they'll maybe count how much they'll always be surprised by how fast you can go up into your mega, or at least into your ultimate, from just having like a Marcus Damon out. We're running Marcus Damons, and maybe like an Agumon. You gain memory, you go to 4, you go into like your Greymons for 1, go into this, go into Metal Greymon for 2. You still have 1 memory. It's pretty huge. You do surprise your points. And you go into Blackwargreymon, and then you delete their tamers, and then suddenly they're in a bad spot. You can't not run this card. Running 3 Greymon X antibodies, just 3. You can run 4. I just figured I want to have the extra space, and it's yeah, mainly I wanted to kind of cut something out. I was running 4 at one point. I keep going back and forth with this, but I decided to cut it out for, I think it was another memory boost was what I cut it, because I was running 3, so now I'm up to 4 of that card. And then 1 of GeoGreymon. This is mostly used as a different name for when you go into Ragnalord, but the inheritable is also really good. I guess I should go over the tamers I'm running, because I keep talking about these tamers. I'm running 3 BT4 Marcus Damon. I love this card. When I was playing this in Ultimate Cup, this card was so fun to play with. Yole was also pretty nice. I just really like Marcus Damon. I just don't want to run 4 Marcus Damon, and so Yole was also what I think I saw a list for that last time the Ultimate Cup Ragnalord player won with was running Yole, and I absolutely agree with this. You definitely want to run this. The reason they were running this whole stuff was so that you can draw more pieces using. I don't think they were running this GeoGrey. They were running this Agumon. Draw more cards off the inheritable when you suspend Marcus, when you attack with your Digimon. It's really good. You gotta run these. Yeah, at least try it out. You'd be surprised how fun Marcus Damon is, and that's why GeoGreymon. If I Digivolve into this in raising, especially, and then I have a tamer out, you can start with so much memory. You can go into Metal Greymon and not pass turn, which is huge. So many decks can just be really sad about, especially if you can just go into Gaiamon right after that. Not passing turn, going into Metal Greymon is a big deal. Going into the rookies for Agumon X. Nice, pretty expensive card. It's you kind of have to run it. It's a great searcher. Digivolve into it, draw cards, search for 3 cards. You only grab 1 hit. We don't have access to X antibody, but that's still really good. There's a reason why Shine Greymon runs this card, although I think they're running at a lower count than 4. It just adds super value. I'm running 3 of the Agumon searchers. This is helps me grab Marcus Daemons, because we're running Marcus Daemon as our tamer. So we run this Agumon as our Agumon. You know, right? And then also it's all dinosaurs. So we digivolve the Geogreymon for 2. Never digivolve for 3. Unless you want to choke your opponent to 1, because that did come up one game. I did choke my opponent to 1. I think it was Ulforce. I digivolved. You can choose, right? You can choose to pay whatever cost you want. You can choose the reduced cost, or you can choose the 3 costs. I digivolved for 3 instead of 2 to choke my opponent at 1. Next turn go into yeah, because then I would have to give them too much memory. So they couldn't go into Ulforce. Next turn I go into Metal Greymon, digivolve their guy, and I had the extra memory, so I didn't pass turn going into Metal Greymon, go into Gaiamon, swing into their Ulforce, or I guess it was Aerovedramon at that point. And then like they lost their Ulforce. That was just brutal for them, and then I was able to win that game. I've placed 3 good Ulforce players that weekend. All right, Ulforce was the big issue. Leomons are OP. And I'm also running the what was it? The EX4 Agumon. I love this card. I am gonna probably start running this in just regular Greymon now. Just when you bring it out and you gain a memory because you had a red tamer out, and then suddenly you have more memory to work with, and then when a red tamer suspends inheritable, you draw an extra card. My hands were always massive when I was playing, which is why I faced off against the winner, which was a Mirage Galgamon. I was absolutely the hardest matchup. My hand size was always too big, and they gained too much memory, too much advantages, which is why I lost. Maybe I was running too much draw that day. Only running 11 rookies because I'm running 4 memory boosts. I feel like I rather do this 4 memory boosts and a lower count of rookies, because if you have a starting hand, you have a rookie in your starting hand and a red memory boost, you search for something else with the red memory boost. If you have other pieces and no rookies in your hand, you search for a rookie with the red memory boost. I feel like the red memory boost has a really nice purpose of just grabbing what you need from the start. Seeing this in your starting hand, you're happy. You just look for rookies and pieces that you're looking for. And to finish it up, I ran 1 Hades Force. I think you just gotta run this card. If you're running Blackwargreymon, you have access to the black and you have access to the red. Whenever you're in any of your megas, right? Blackwargreymon X, Gaiamon, and Blackwargreymon, you have access to Hades Force, and why not run it, right? It's a security bomb that kills highest DP. You have it in your hand. You have Blackwargreymon. I think I did win a game against a Ulforce, going into it's on Blackwargreymon. Hades Force's Tamers unsuspend Blackwargreymon. It was their turn, so they can't evade the pop from Blackwargreymon X. And then I cleared the board, and that guy just scooped right there. He was just like, he couldn't do anything. Well, I don't blame him. This card is crazy. Don't sleep on it. You only need to run 1. You see it in your hand, you keep it in your hand, and you stay quiet about it, and you surprise your opponents when they think that they've got it in the bag. You pull this out and just clear their tamers, and then you give them a bit of a heart attack. Then they just get sad. And that's the deck, guys.